Hey y'all, 2004 Toyota Sienna. Got the jack underneath here. We're jacking up off the frame there. Threw a tire underneath, but a jack stand will be a good idea too. You're gonna have 21 millimeters for the lug nuts here. 5 of them. This DeWalt, I'll leave it in the description. It's a great thing. It's compact, but using the Husky 3/8 set worked good. After getting the tire off, smacked it, put it underneath. We're gonna be taking this 12 millimeter nut off for the CV axle. And we're going to be taking off, I think, the caliper bracket, all that, get it off of the road to do this wheel bearing on here. Alright, next you're going to need, well, I used a 3/32 drift punch, 1/8 inch, just straight punch, and a 3/8 chisel to open up this cut right there on the nut. Punching in there, pulling like this. It may not work the best, but you can see I was using all of them, had them all out here. Hammer, just tapping them in. Then you're supposed to use a 12-point socket. I do not have one of those, but I did break it free. It's gonna be really hard to see. This is a 33 millimeter. It did work. Just went to the right, back to the left, back to back left. Now it's starting to break loose. I'm gonna try to clean this up with some wire brush and hit it with some different penetrants. I got some nano, but I also bought this new stuff for y'all. See which one works the best on here, and I'll let you know when we get that off. Well, after going back and forth a little bit, she's pretty. Now, after making the nut flush, a couple good whacks, she's all loose. Now, just take your flathead screwdriver and get in there. Let's see if I can give you a better shot of it here. Get in right here, and you can pry back between the pad, or if you get the screwdriver over here, you can pry forward. You know, this part forward. Get that free enough before we take that off, or the bracket itself. Alright, y'all. So in this spot here and down there, you're gonna have 17 millimeter. Still using my 3/8 in here. 17 millimeter. Use the extension and the wobble for the bottom bolt. But that's gonna be that top there, and there's gonna be one more. That bolt right there. And as long as you loosen those pads up, this whole thing should come off. You can grab a hook, using the hook to hook it through here, out of your road, so you can keep working on getting this rotor off next. Mine's pretty loose, so it's just going to come off, but you might hit it with the wax with the hammer, and you can take that off. And that's what you'll be left with, and we're going to be taking the bolts off to get this out. I forgot this is pressed in, so we're going to be taking the bolts off on the bottom ball joint for the strut here, the tie rod. Using the 1/8 inch pick, we straightened out the Carter pin here and just pushed it through the hole. And now we're pulling it out, using it as leverage here. Turning and wiggling is a good idea. Put that off to the side to save it for later. Another 17 millimeter. Took that right off. To the side with a hammer. And if hitting the side doesn't work, put the nut back on and hit it with the hammer right underneath. There's a little better lighting for you. After you get it to pop, you may have to push back down on this to keep it from spinning so you can get this nut back off. Just like so. Now we should be able to pop this up. There you go. Set that to the side, and we're going to start, I think, on those bolts. So I got this item in from Amazon to try out. It's supposed to be good for repairing threads, or hopefully cleaning up on the rusty here. That's the information on the back. The part number, I'll leave a link in the description or comments. I think it's made in Taiwan, yep. So we'll see how it does. Go lefty-loosey to open the jaws up. Now you go righty-tighty. Lock the jaws down in there, the grooves, and turn it back and forth. And we'll see if it helps break some of this loose. And it's kind of bulky for getting closer, so we'll see how that goes. I don't know how it is for repairing threads, but if you push it with your finger, it's kind of faster to just move around on the threads. Scrape that rust off. Better than the screwdriver and stuff. It gets scraped up pretty easy, like some of the reviews said. If it'll last or not. Let me think in the comments. Well, a pair of hearing protection would work good. You got 21 on that side. You got 18 on that side to hold it still. 1/2 inch impact to get it broke loose. What we got? Sprayed more penetrant on it and ran it in. Well, we got it off smoking. That's a 21 for this side and an 18 for that side. It's going to be 22 on both sides. 22 millimeter, 1/2 inch. So we got 15 seconds of impacting. Didn't quite do it, so we're going to try to grab one of the bigger boys I got. This one mid-torque wouldn't do it, so we're going to try the DeWalt. This is the newer one with a little smaller form size to it. It's the newer little brother. There's that part number. I'll leave links to both in the comments and description. So let's try the Cobalt one here. Battery life, model number there. I'll leave links to comments. So took the battery life down a little bit. We'll try another battery. 4 bars on the high output here. Try that one. For 15 seconds, still no good. We'll try a bigger one. Battery's dying out on this one, so we're going to try trading up for the 3 on this one. Only 1 bar, so we'll see what it does. With the 3 that has 2 bars. Here's the Cobalt with the 4 amp hour battery. Again, links to the product. 7/8. If you don't have 22, will also work on this backside. Cobalt doesn't want to do it either. I don't know. Before we jump up to the new DeWalt model, we're going to try to power stack on the old one. It's fully charged. Sure giving it a lot more oomph, that's for sure. When you're doing as much impact as I'm doing, be careful moving this socket around, it gets hot. Throw the power stack on this new version, the 900. There's the thing, got number 3. See what you can do. This thing just made that socket fly off, but look at this. It's really bringing the power. So this is what we got. I think it moved a little bit, so we're going to go back the other direction. That's what I get for pushing too hard in my ratchet into the side of that. The ratchet's starting to give up. It's starting to skip. This had given up a long time ago. This thing's just... See what else we can hold this still with. I didn't want to switch directions. Now it's starting to... I don't know if you can hear that real good or not. Sounds a little chunky. Yeah, probably should have started with a breaker bar. That's what we're going to do now. After all that fighting... Whew, about time. Chess channel that said this one did really good on the testing. This is a 900, so I'm impressed. Next was going to be the Bosch. And people ask me why I coat everything with anti-seize. That's why. All right, now you're going to need a 17 for underneath. There's them bolts right there that we're going to be taking out. Switch out these 2 batteries and see if this one helps this effect. It's got 2 bars. Here it does. B2. It's not quite enough. It took it a second, but the Craftsman taking these off. I'll show you from start to finish here. Hit it right to the right for a second. Back to the left. There we go. That's what did it. Did that with the other one, by the way, too. It just still didn't make it. All right, let's do this back bolt. Hey. There you go. They're all out now. You're going to take these bolts out. This one and this one might be a little harder. I have to get the impact for it. Yeah, 18 millimeter on this top. I think there's a square drive that fits in there because it's kind of like flopping. So I must have to hit this side of the hammer to get it to come out. As always, thread that nut back on before you hit it with the hammer. Give her a good whack. Looks like it's golded in the bushing there because it's starting to push it over here. I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do there. Well, y'all, just keep turning it and smacking it, and you'll eventually get it loose there. You can just wiggle it. You'll see I'm moving the whole thing because I think it's part of the camber for this tire to go up and back and forth. Is that lobe there? It helps your adjustment. I don't know where to set it. Maybe just put the tire on, lower it, and take a look. So there it is out. Just be ready for it to want to come forward after all this. So you're gonna have to unplug something. I think this down here maybe to get this knuckle off. Well, to take this sensor wire off, it's that rusty 10 mil down there. And the 10 mil I have is not exactly fitting on it very good because I think it's all rusty. I might have to try a 9. A couple taps from the hammer. Let's see if we get it here. And that 9 went down on it, so we're gonna try it. But it didn't take much, a couple impacts and screws out. Just wiggle it back and forth, try not to break it. I don't know if that's all of it. It looks like it is. Yeah, just gonna clean probably some of that rust off that tip. And put that out of the road. A couple taps with the hammer, and the CV axle is going back. This is coming forward, and this is gonna come off. Pushing that CV axle back. Now you just have to lift this up off. This stuff off of there. And now you can press this bearing out. Here's the back of the bearing here. We'll be pushing the back of the hub out and taking that. There's a ring in there. Anyway, we'll be pushing that out. Like and subscribe for more, and I'll be making a part 2 or whatever to push that out and reinstall in the vehicle. As always, like and subscribe for more. Let me think in the comments. Stay safe and God bless. Catch you next time. See you then.